Chosen one, the moment you woke up this morning, heaven noticed. The tears you wiped away, the effort no one saw, the battle you fought in silence, God saw everything. And right now, your quiet obedience is unlocking public favor. This isn't coincidence. It's confirmation. You weren't overlooked. You were observed by heaven. And what's coming next will prove it to the world. Because today, divine approval has been signed in your name. Your light is about to shine so bright, even those who doubted you will have to admit, you were chosen all along. If you feel this message in your spirit, don't scroll. Comment "I receive it" to claim this divine confirmation, and share this with another chosen one who's been waiting for their proof. This morning, you didn't even realize what you did, but heaven did. It looked small to you. It looked ordinary. But that one act of faith, that whisper that said, "God, I still trust you," shook the spiritual realm. You didn't fall apart when you had every reason to. You didn't curse the situation. You didn't let pain turn you bitter. Instead, you kept your heart steady and said, "I believe." That moment was sacred, because when a chosen one chooses faith over frustration, heaven takes notice. The angels paused. The energy in the unseen world shifted, and the divine recorded your name in what's called the Book of Honor, a book reserved for those who trust God when there's no evidence to hold on to. Faith is not about seeing results. It's about believing when results are invisible. And that's exactly what you did this morning. You see, God doesn't respond to perfection. He responds to faith. He doesn't reward the flawless. He rewards the faithful. Even if all you did was whisper His name while fighting back tears, heaven heard it louder than 1,000 sermons, because God listens not to the volume of your words, but to the vibration of your heart. That moment, quiet, unseen, uncelebrated, became your activation point. Something in the spiritual realm began to turn in your favor. The delay you've been living through isn't rejection, it's recalibration. Heaven was aligning the right people, the right opportunities, and the right timing. And your faith was the key that unlocked that alignment. You might not feel it yet, but the energy around you has already changed. The air is different. The signs will start to show through sudden peace, unexpected favor, and divine coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. That's because faith always sets movement in motion. Your patience has been translated into progress, and your surrender has become your strength. By the next sunrise, something you've been waiting for, an answer, a call, a sign, will begin to move, because heaven is never deaf to devotion. So, don't doubt yourself for a second. That small prayer you thought no one heard, it was a signal flare to heaven, and the response has already been released. God saw it all. The moment you chose hope instead of despair, heaven took note, and now the energy that once resisted you will begin to assist you. The divine is preparing a public reward for a private decision, because faith is never wasted. Even in silence, even in smallness, your trust was heard in eternity. Chosen one, that moment you faced this morning, it wasn't random, it wasn't bad luck. It was a divine test designed to expose your true spiritual strength. Maybe someone spoke to you harshly. Maybe a door you were hoping for closed again. Or maybe life simply felt heavier than usual. And yet, you didn't explode. You didn't let anger or fear take over. You paused, took a breath, and chose peace. Heaven took note of that, because peace in the middle of provocation is a rare form of power. It shows that your spirit has matured, that you no longer react from emotion, but from divine awareness. Tests like these aren't about punishment. They're about promotion. They're spiritual X-rays that reveal what level your soul has truly reached. And this morning, heaven saw that your soul is no longer fragile. It's fortified. When God wants to promote you, He doesn't test your skills. He tests your spirit. He watches how you handle delay, disrespect, and disappointment. Because anyone can shine when everything's easy, but only the chosen shine when life presses hard. And today, you shined. You proved that your peace cannot be stolen by chaos. You showed that your value doesn't shrink because someone else couldn't see it. You demonstrated that your maturity has caught up with your destiny. And heaven responded, "You're ready for more." That frustration you've been carrying, the one that made you question if God forgot you, it wasn't a no, it was a not yet. He was preparing your character to match your calling. And now, that preparation is complete. Expect the shift soon. A message, a phone call, or an opportunity will appear that feels divinely timed, because it will be. You've crossed a line in the spirit world, from being tested to being trusted. You see, God never promotes without proof. And this morning, your behavior under pressure was the proof heaven needed. It told God that you won't destroy what He's about to deliver, that you're ready to handle the blessing without losing yourself in it. So, hold your head high, chosen one. You passed a test that most people fail, the test of response. And that's why, in the days ahead, life will begin to shift. Favor will locate you, peace will protect you, and heaven will promote you. Because your reaction this morning told the universe everything it needed to know about your readiness. You didn't just survive the test, you proved who you really are. Chosen one, you didn't know it, but this morning, you were in an invisible audition. Heaven has a way of testing those it intends to trust, not through applause, not through rewards, but through silence. When life gets quiet, when no one sees your effort, no one praises your work, no one says, "Thank you," that's when the invisible audition begins. God watches how you act in obscurity. He watches how you handle loneliness, delay, and disappointment. He watches who you are when no one's watching. And this morning, you passed. Because even without recognition, you gave your best. Even without validation, you chose integrity. You did the right thing, not because someone was looking, but because heaven was. That decision, quiet, unseen, uncelebrated, was louder in the spiritual realm than you can imagine. It told God everything He needed to know about your heart. Heaven doesn't promote people based on how loudly they pray, but on how consistently they live when no one's listening. And today, your consistency spoke volumes. You proved that your spirit can handle the weight of blessing without collapsing under the pressure of ego. That's why divine approval isn't coming later. It's already in motion now. The angels are shifting paths. Timelines are being realigned. The right people are being drawn toward your energy. Because God only opens big doors for those who can remain humble in small rooms. Very soon, you'll begin to notice changes. People will look at you differently. They'll say, "Something about you feels lighter. You're glowing lately. You seem blessed." But it won't be luck. It'll be evidence. The visible proof of invisible faith. You didn't chase attention. You chased alignment. You didn't perform for approval. You walked in purpose. And heaven noticed, because when you chose character over comfort, when you chose faith over fear, heaven whispered, "Now they're ready." And just like that, you were selected for a higher dimension of destiny. Your silent obedience became your loudest victory. The approval you've been praying for, the recognition you've been waiting on, it's not coming from people. It's already been written into your energy. Something shifted this morning. Maybe you didn't feel it right away, but heaven did. That small moment when you sighed in prayer, when you released your worries into God's hands, it wasn't ignored. Heaven caught that breath like a sacred offering. When you forgave someone who never apologized, when you stayed silent instead of seeking revenge, when you chose compassion instead of competition, heaven stamped your soul with its divine seal of approval. Because what you carry now isn't desperation, it's divine authority. You're no longer walking in survival mode, you've stepped into spiritual royalty. Your vibration has changed, and the universe can feel it. Even before blessings become visible, the energy announces the shift. People will start responding to you differently. Doors that were once locked will now open without force. Opportunities that ignored you before will start circling back, because your frequency now matches your destiny. This is what divine alignment feels like. Ease replacing effort, flow replacing force. God has already stamped your name with His signature of approval. The waiting season wasn't wasted. It was preparation for acceleration. Now what once felt delayed will suddenly begin to move fast, almost too fast to comprehend. Because when heaven says, now, everything starts catching up at once. You'll begin to notice confirmations, repeated numbers on clocks, feathers appearing out of nowhere, songs or messages that seem perfectly timed, each one whispering the same message: you've been seen, you've been chosen, you've been approved. Remember this, you don't need validation from man when you already carry confirmation from heaven. Your approval isn't pending, it's permanent. And it glows through your aura, your presence, your very breath. This isn't the beginning of your story. It's the moment the world starts to see what heaven already declared: true chosen one. This is the moment the world has been waiting to see. You've walked through silent seasons. You've prayed in the dark. You've helped others when no one helped you. And now God is saying, enough hiding. Because this final point isn't just about a blessing, it's about public proof. The same people who ignored your kindness will have to acknowledge your growth. The same ones who doubted your purpose will soon witness your elevation. The same crowd that thought you were finished will see you rise higher than ever. Your life is about to become a living testimony, visible, undeniable, and unstoppable. God has seen your private battles. He saw you praying when your heart was breaking. He saw you keep your integrity when betrayal surrounded you. He saw your humility when others chose pride. And heaven took notes. Now, the time for quiet faith is turning into public favor. Opportunities that were locked are suddenly going to open, not because of who you know, but because of who you've become. God is going to showcase His glory through you. That new job, that financial blessing, that restored relationship, that breakthrough you've been waiting for, it won't be a secret. It will be seen, celebrated, and remembered. And when it happens, don't shrink back. Don't apologize for what God is doing. You're not bragging, you're bearing witness. Because when your light shines, it doesn't just glorify you, it glorifies the one who sent it. Your success will remind people that faith still works. Your story will revive hope in those who almost gave up. This is divine justice. This is God's way of saying, I saw what you did when no one else did. I saw the seeds you planted when the soil looked dry. And now I'm bringing your harvest publicly. So prepare for a season where everything shifts effortlessly. Favor will chase you, peace will guard you, and blessings will arrive without warning. This morning, heaven placed a divine stamp of approval on your name. And now earth is about to echo that approval in ways you can't even imagine. The silence you endured was never punishment, it was preparation. Because God never hides what He plans to reveal with power. And now, chosen one, the wait is over. Your light is rising. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you've never entered. Your proof will not be private. It will be public, powerful, and permanent. Chosen one. Take a deep breath, because everything you've prayed for is finally aligning. Heaven has already signed your name in light. The approval you were waiting for, it's done. You didn't get here by accident. Every trial, every lonely morning, every silent act of faith, it was all preparation. You weren't being punished, you were being positioned. Now, the waiting season is ending. The doors that once stayed closed will start swinging open without effort. The people who once ignored you will start noticing your glow. And the blessings that were delayed will begin to accelerate, because divine timing has finally caught up with your destiny. When this proof arrives, walk in it with grace. You don't need to explain, prove, or defend yourself. Your results will speak louder than your words. So tonight, rest knowing this truth. You've passed heaven's invisible test. You've carried your purpose with integrity. And now God's approval is echoing across your energy, your path, your future. This is your confirmation. Not just that you were seen, but that you were chosen. The next chapter of your story will be public and unstoppable. Because when heaven says approved, no one on earth can say denied.